Zaire will continue into his second. What do you think of the policy of opening with two left-handers? It allows the opposition to go with the off-spinner.
Maybe these two are the premier opening batsmen of Qatar. That is why the two left-handers are there.
Slog sweep attempted, not really out of the middle, but should be good enough to get a couple as Gulshan Jah runs around. Would you be tempted, though, with Lianage's lack of form, just to drop him down one maybe and get a right-hand, left-hand combo going?
That is what we all think, but the supposed staff, the head coach of Qatar, thought it otherwise to get two left-handers sent as an opening batsman.
Yeah, they've stuck with them as well, the two left-handers. Really much vaunted Qatari backroom support staff. The Qatar Cricket Association have invested very heavily there. Oh, this one's again cut reasonably well, but straight to the man. Toby Radford, the head coach, has some pretty illustrious colleagues alongside him. Sorry, Toby Bailey, not Toby Radford. Toby Radford, another one who's done work back in Ireland and Scotland. Toby Bailey, the former Scotland head coach and then performance director. He's got Malloy, the former England international, played ODI cricket, so opening the batting for England. As the batting coach, Aftab Khan as the fielding coach, he's worked in the PSL. Tom Turner, the S&C coach, formerly of Glamorgan in the Welsh Far, and Brent Darnell, who played Test cricket for New Zealand. One of a few former Kiwi cricketers we've got, not just coaching here, but also playing here. There's another one is hit straight to the fielder. Yeah, really well-drilled Qatar, aren't they? And you would imagine them alongside Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, even many sides in the Gulf on the rise, Paresh.
Getting that inside edge. This is a good over by Defender Singhai. Just 3 runs off it. After 3 overs, Qatar are 18 for no loss. And talking about Gulf countries, we see UAE, Oman, Kuwait, Qatar. There's plenty of associates who are coming up in numbers.
Yeah, I think UAE's position has surprised you and I both in this competition. They are staring potentially down a scenario of having to win their last 2 games, and even then not necessarily being guaranteed of a top 3 spot, depending upon exactly as to how the permutations play out. There are scenarios where 3 wins do not get you in. If 4 teams end up on 6 points or more, it then comes down to net run rate. Now, because both of their defeats were incredibly marginal, their net run rate actually isn't too bad. And given that they would win their last 2 matches, they'd probably get it into a good position if they do get to 6 points. I think in reality, if they win their last 2, they will qualify. But I'd be surprised if they win 1 and qualify. They've got Samoa and Japan left to play. Japan have impressed everyone that they've come up against. Kami will bowl his second. You kept saying it was going to be Nepal, Oman and UAE as the 3 qualifiers. Are you going to be proved right by the end of this week, Paresh?
UAE, they lost Nepal yesterday and losing against Oman today. 2 losses in the Super Sixes. The 2 points that was carried out from the group stages, they have to win the 2 remaining games.
I suppose the only benefit they have is that when they made 112 this afternoon, that one is far too wide outside the off-stump, giving us why the Nepal fans are really starting to get the atmosphere going here. Great scenes out and amongst the crowd. They managed to drag it out long enough. They'll be gutted not to have won the game, but the fact that they pulled it all the way till the penultimate ball or the 3rd last ball means that they've taken basically no net run rate hits.
And credit goes to UAE, the way they defended a low total of just 112.
Nepal fans are chanting wicket, wicket, wicket. Will they be able to inspire their boys? Another factor, I suppose, if you look at the schedule for all these teams, it's not easy, is it? Samoa and Japan have the benefit of a rest day today, but then they'll play 3 in 3 days to round things out. And if you look at Japan's schedule in particular, they play Wednesday morning, Thursday afternoon, Friday morning. All during the day, all in the heat. That is going to be torturous.
Yes, it is, and we felt it was very hot in the morning games.
Yeah, it really is warm at 10 a.m. Worked into the leg side will just be the single. For Qatar, they haven't had any damage done yet, but they might just look to take a bit of risk with the final 15 balls of this power play. Time to try and get ahead of the rate for me.
It's a kind of a steady start by Qatar, not taking any risk. They're bowling in good areas. Sompal Kami and Dipender Singh Airi, the two openers for Nepal today. The two fielders in the boundary line are deep square leg and deep mid-wicket.
So he goes down the ground instead and just out of the reach of Kushal Patel, who got a great line on it and then executed a fantastic throw to put Ali under all sorts of pressure. More phenomenal fielding.
Didn't time is as much as he'd liked. Ali, this is good work by Kushal Patel, turning very quickly and throwing the ball to the non-striker's end.
Wasn't that far from a direct hit either. Awesome athleticism on show from so many of these Nepal players, as Zubair Ali is just taking some time to readjust some of his protective equipment, but he's fit to continue. Lianage trying to break the shackles, trying to get going, and that's going to get going and goes a long way. Completely the wrong line from Sampal Kami, and well, in essence, all he had to do was get any bat on it to help it away, not just for 4, but all the way for 6.
That was short ball into the hip, nicely picked up by the batter there, down to long leg for a maximum. This is a good start for Qatar, 29 for no loss in the 4th over. Still 2 overs of power play remaining after this. Lianage was 7 of 10, now he's moved to 13 of 11.
Yeah, gets that strike rate into sort of positive territory above a run a ball. We'll round out an expensive over for Nepal with a single. Good stuff from Qatar, showing real promise in this chase. 30 for done after 4. Really promising start this for Nepal, for Qatar. They've been so good. The two left-handers combining effectively, and for Nepal they need a wicket. And they turn to Nandan Yadav, who's had a bit of an indifferent tournament. Hasn't been above par, but hasn't been necessarily right on the money either. They come on from the far end. And this is helped around the corner. Should get back for 2 comfortably enough as Sampal Kami does the fielding under the watchful eye of the Oman cricket scoring team, who have been exceptional as always in helping us with all the player identification and making sure all those numbers go through to the Cricket Club's website, and of course pairing your graphics here on ICC TV.
Qatar's running between the wickets has impressed me a lot. They're running very hard.
Probably not quite at the same rates as Nepal did in the first innings, but certainly being positive. That's lasered through the offside. Kushal Malla won't cut that off down a deep third. But we saw this in the first innings. Pace on the ball, I don't think is the way to go on this surface. Nandan Yadav has a look back of slight dismay. And Lianage, who hasn't been in form, is playing himself into it.
It's a powerful cut shot, a square drive, backward square drive into the gap. Kushal Malla, he was the third man, the wide third man fielder, but he had no chance of stopping that. It was hit very hard by Lianage. moves to 20 or 14, how that 6 and 4 changes his strike rate towards the positive side.
Yet again, Nepal are in a difficult position. In every match that they've played, they've been in trouble. They were in trouble against Kuwait with the bat, despite Kushal Patel batting almost the entirety of the innings. For his player of the match, 66. They needed Gulshan Jha to get them out of the trouble towards the end of that first innings. And that's just picked up a long way. Yadav not learning his lesson. He's going pace on again. 12 from the first 3 deliveries of this over. Qatar ahead in the chase and giving Nepal a real fright here.
This is a dominating start by Qatar, especially Lianage. Just went through the line of the ball, hit it straight as an arrow towards the side screen.
Qatar now are thinking about blowing this Super 6 wide open. Tell you something, the UAE will be watching on in this game and saying, we quite like the look of this. We like a bit of chaos being brought to the table. We'd love Nepal being dragged back down into the mix of a lack of certainty of World Cup qualification. Nepal in trouble here. Goes to a hard length. Just don't think pace on is the way to go on this surface. It's just skidding on and asking to be hits.
It's actually that kind of a wicket where you should get your pace off and hit the deck. You'll get variable bounce. There is a low bounce as well. The ball certainly staying low from the good length area. Runs of this over already in 4 deliveries.
Squares him up. That's pitched outside leg, so can't be given out. Direct hit from Lamachani and good awareness from the leg spinner to sprint in himself to make sure there's no ability for an overthrow. His 4 overs will be important, probably going over the top as well.
Over the top and slightly pitching outside the leg stump of the left-hander. This is a good start by Qatar.
And they've got that required run rate down to under 7 and over. Yadav needs to get out of this over, and I think Powell needs to turn to his spinners. Remember, he's got 1 less spin option in the team this evening because there is no Lalit Rajbanshi. Maybe the propensity of left-handers in this Qatar side being a factor in that decision too. Hammered away very handsomely. Lianage all over Yadav in that over. It's gone for 16. And Nepal are in real trouble because Qatar's opener is the 2 southpaws off to a flying start. And the men in maroon in control, 46 for none.
Again, he rose a pace on delivery outside the off stump, giving away too much of room to the left-hander. He just had to put bat on ball, get the gap. That is what he did. 5 overs has been bowled Qatar. Very good start, 46 for no loss.
We've had a few lulls with the ball in this tournament. They're pretty exceptional in the first game against Kuwait, routing them, but then against Japan, they were right up against it for the first 12 overs. And then last night, or yesterday afternoon, against the United Arab Emirates, the majority of the chase was in control for the men from the Emirates. As Dipender Singh Ari will have a change of end, and they have learnt not to run one anywhere in his vicinity. Good call from Ali.
Dipender Singh Ari, he has a run out of his own bowling earlier in this tournament.
Fielders flying everywhere all of a sudden. Deep backward square. Sandeep Johra is going to go out. He was so good in the field last night. Extra reinforcement onto the offside. 5-4 offside field. Zairi finds the edge, but they'll find a single as Lamachani does enough to keep it to just 1. Haven't really been at their best through this qualifier, Nepal. However good the results and dramatic the results have been, they are unbeaten, but they probably aren't playing as good a brand of cricket as they would like.
Yeah, they played a good cricket against West Indies the first two games when they won the series by 2-1.
Also just shows there are no easy games in associate cricket. Straight to Kushal Malla. Good man to have in there. He'll understand his angles very well. Every dot is a good result for Nepal, but they need wickets. Chipped in the air, just agonisingly out of reach of Kushal Patel, who flies through the air, attempts to make a good play in it, but Lianage gets a boundary to bring the 50 up.
It was overpitched, hit it over mid-off. Patel trying to grab that with one hand but couldn't get to it. A very happy looking dugout of Qatar. Very good start. 51 for no loss in the sixth. The last over of the power play.
Less than 100 required, Paresh. And for Nepal, the only way they'll get back into this contest will be by taking wickets. Will get easier for the bowling team outside of the power play, but the power plays belong to only one team, and that is Qatar.
Mirza Mohammad Beg was dead right about batting second will be much easier. That is what he said.
Could have been interesting if that was picked up cleanly. Powell just overran it as he sprinted in. It's going to be 7 from Irie's third over. 6 bowled. Qatar really looking good. 53 for none.
This is the power play highlights. The power play belongs to Qatar. In the first innings also, the power play belonged to Qatar. This was helped round the corner for a 6 by Lianage. Lianage has been pick up the batsman for Qatar, scoring at will. When he started off, his strike rate was under 100. Then scored a 6 and a 4 against Nandan Yadav. Now he's on to 40 odd runs. This was a good attempt by Kushal Patel, but it went over his head.
Well, captain and vice captain have a lengthy discussion. They're going to turn to the skipper to have a bowl. Might just hold Lamachani back a little here, try and break this opening partnership with the two left-handers and hold their prize wicket-taking option deeper in to this second innings. End of the power play signal by Shiju Sam. Powell can now displace 5 fielders right into the deep, so he's got 2 in the deep on the offside, 3 in the deep on the leg, and 5 all together on the leg side, just long off and deep cover out on the offside. Get through for a single because it's right into the gap, although Irie feigns and threatens to throw. Actually judge their runs pretty well because they're not looking for the ones when it's anywhere in the vicinity of the prize fielders, but they've rotated the strike nicely. Required run rate looking very manageable.
Powell this time around a bit quicker through the air. The first ball that is bowled was a bit slower. That is why the batter were able to play with soft hand and take a run.
Whenever Nepal get themselves in trouble, they find a way to sort of drag their nation back into the game. But there's only so many times you can go to the well, Paresh, isn't there? There's only so many times you can pull off the unthinkable, the ludicrous, the ridiculous that they seem to do with such frequency. These are concerning times. Lose this game, and all of a sudden that World Cup place that they are dreaming of, very much under threat.
Yeah, if they lose this game, they'll have to win the remaining 2 games.
Now, that time, a very good call from Lianage, because Jas swooped in. They just brought an extra fielder onto the offside, and if he had taken a single, that could have been the first wicket. Looks to me right now, the most likely way of a wicket could be a run-out. Not much threat from the bowlers. The 2 batters just working around nicely.
Just waiting for the ball, just playing it late, playing into the gaps. This is good batting by Qatari batters. This is relatively a good over by Rohit Patel. Only 3 runs off the first 5 balls.
Maybe a 4th single in the over. That will keep things a little tighter for Nepal, but Qatar still have this in control. Thanks to this first wicket partnership, it's worth 57.
Yes, 57 of 42. Contribution for Ali is 17 of 18, whereas Lianagi, the quick fire, 37 of 24. The current rate is 8.14. That is why the required is just 7. It was 7.4 in the start of the innings.
Cruise control right now for Qatar, and as he has so often through this tournament, whether it's with bats or with the ball, he's going to rely upon his all-round star Gulshan Jad to change the game. Can he impact it? He'll come in for a ball for the first time. It's an interesting call because we felt the spinners were the more successful of the bowlers in that first innings, but Powell is seeing something. It's probably just the presence and the threat of Jha that he decided to turn to him.
He's the one who changed the game against Kuwait, scoring 27 runs in the penultimate over, and again against Japan, when the captain Fleming was going good, he came in and took his wicket. Even the last game yesterday against UAE, Gulshan Jha coming in and scoring runs at the strike rate of 200. Pulled away into the boundary line for a 6. This was a neat pickup shot. The ball was angling down to the leg side. They're dealing in boundaries here, Qatar. Very impressive. 63 for no loss. Just helped the way down to square leg for a 6. It's warning signs for Nepal. They have to get a breakthrough somehow to get back into the game.
Yeah, good strike. Lianagi playing a gem of a knock. Just working it around with such ease. Amazing to think that he just hasn't had a score in the series. Shows the rather manic and unpredictable nature of T20 cricket, particularly when you open the batting. You'll often fail more than you'll succeed. Even some of the best opening batters in the world might only get a score once every 4, once every 5 games. But when they do, they want to impact the game and win it for their team. Is it just me, Paresh, or is pace on looking much easier than pace off?
Yeah, pace on deliveries are looking much easier because the pitch is slow. If you bowl in a good pace, that will definitely come onto the bat. If you use variation like off cutter or leg cutters of slower ball pace off deliveries into the wicket, that will be difficult for the batters to score off.
I think one of the big factors as well, just the emotions of last night for Nepal, struggling to raise themselves, to rouse their spirits. They're going to have to dig really deep here, because this is you would say a chase that Qatar, from this position, should complete, 9 times out of 10?
Definitely. And understanding what Lianagi is doing, Zubair Ali is just giving the strike to Lianagi.
Yeah, very mature innings from him. He's come to international cricket reasonably late, at the age of 33, but he's already had an immediate impact. At a very good level back in Pakistan before emigrating to Qatar. The first one that beats the outside edge, the first cutter. Finally, some pace taken off. Nepal need to learn more quickly than they have been. Gets us to the end of the 9th. Qatar well in control. Excellent opening partnership. We're at 66 now. And as Road Powell will continue himself. Don't mind what he's doing here in terms of holding back Sandeep Lamachani as long as possible. It means that Lamachani's impact could be a massive one. Because that one is driven, and the rarest of things from Kushal Bertel. A misfield is going to cost 4. I think he might have got a tricky bounce off the edge of the square. And Nepal's fielding that has really propelled and propped this team up throughout this series, just wilting now.
It was overpitched, nicely hit down to extra cover. I think it just bounced awkwardly in front of Kushal Bhuttel.
Yeah, I don't think it carried. As a reverse sweep comes out. Excellent batting. What a way to bring up 50. We've seen a gem of a knock. One of the knocks of the tournament, I must say. It's a 31-ball 50 from Himal Lianage, the vice-captain. He's been totally out of form. But he has now made an 8th T20I 50, and he won't have played many better innings in his entire life.
Just tried a reverse sweep there, hit it into the gap all along the carpet. This is a very good start, a good innings by Lianage, 53 of 31.
And from here, really all Qatar need to do is hold their nerve. It's a run of ball required. Yes, it's a slow surface, but Nepal are not exploiting that at all. Potentially just skidding on a little bit. What we did see last night, Paresh, and I wonder if it's a factor again, was some dew. Some dew came down quite late in the evening. Maybe that's just helping it skid on a touch and play a little easier. There isn't that same sharp turn as Irie, well, races in to just try and create something, but it's not happening for Nepal at the moment.
The second and the third ball of this over going for boundaries. Lianage playing beautifully.
First ever T20I 50 for him against Nepal. Floods into the pad, big appeal, but probably just angling down. Possibly some bat involved. Not a lot or enough going for that. Qatar continuing control, 75 for none.
It's probably going down the leg side. Good decision by the umpire again.
Well, he's held him back as long as he can. He can't hold him back anymore. Nepal's leading wicket taker in both ODI crickets and T20I cricket. A man who has globetrotted all around the world, who adores taking wickets for his nation in official ODIs and T20Is. He's already got 249. He'd like number 250 right now. But the problem is he'll have 2 left-handers to bowl to, and he's had a bit of problems with the left-handers throughout this competition, Paresh.
Yes, he has. The captain of Japan hitting him for 2 sixes in an over. Starts off with a googly, the first ball that he bowled to the left-hander.
Yeah, he's gone back-to-back googlies. He'll predominantly bowl that googly to the left-handers, but I think just for me, it's probably being bowled with too much frequency. I think he has to mix it with the leg breaks. It's not easy bowling to left-handers. It's a nightmare for all leg spinners. But 3 consecutive googlies he starts with, 3 singles. For Qatar, all they're thinking about from this Lamachani spell is we don't need to hit him big, but if we keep him wicketless, we'll probably win this game.
They've got 78 for no loss. They can just milk Lamachani around the ground for singles. 24 without a wicket in 4 overs. They can take it. They will take it. A dot ball, a rare dot ball in the Qatar innings.
Hasn't been many, is there? Again, with a slightly bigger leg side boundary from the end that he's bowling from, you just wonder, could he come around the wicket to try and bring in more methods of dismissal into play? googly again, and I think it's just getting almost expected from the batters. They feel it's going to be turning away rather than turning in.
It's getting rather predictable that he's bowling googlies to the left-hander. Just waiting on the back foot, they can just milk the ball around.
I think it's 5 in a row, if I'm reading it correctly. Always back myself to pick which way it's going, Paresh. Don't get it right every time, but being a former leg spinner, you usually know which way it's coming out of the wrist. It's easier from behind as well to say that. It is another googly, and it's cleaned him up. Hold him around his legs. It's international wicket number 250 in ODIs and T20Is. Number 123 for Sandeep Lamachani. And it's come just at the time that Nepal needed the most. It's the big wicket of Lianaga. He is furious. He expected the googly, but Lamachani somehow just squeezed it around his legs. Might have been a little bit of bat and glove as well. A bit unlucky, but it is Lamachani, the wicket taker, who strikes. How Nepal needed that.
In the first 3 games, Lamachani was hit for 19, 20 and 20 in his first 2 overs. This time around, he comes in and takes a wicket off the well-set Lianagi, a googly ball on leg stump. Got his gloves and ricocheted the stumps. This is a much-needed breakthrough for Nepal.
Isn't it just? They desperately needed that. And Stuart Law is out with his charges already, and he looks to me as though he might be reading them the riot act. Don't think he's been pleased with their efforts thus far. We'll do a break here in the commentary box. It's 79 for 1.
Yeah, look at the Manhattan there for Qatar. Big overs there. 16 runs coming on, 12 runs in the 4th over and 16 in the 5th over. 9 and 9 in the 8th and 9th over as well. Roy Porter to continue. All the way down to square leg. The fielder there, Gulshan Shah in pursuit. Couldn't stop the 2nd run.
Well, the Cardiac Kids barely had a pulse in that first 10 overs of the 2nd innings, but Lamachani has got the defibrillator out. He has sparked the heart rate back to life. There are still nervy scenes all the way across Nepal, from every corner of the Himalayan nation. But they just have this ability to change things, don't they? I don't know how many more times they can do it. They keep getting themselves into difficult positions. They show great character then to at least make it close. And in fact, that's the only reason they've stayed unbeaten throughout this ICC Men's T20 World Cup Asia, East Asia Pacific qualifier. I just wonder, do they have enough to go deep into the energy reserves? They must all be tired. 2 games in 2 days again. Can they find a way to pull this one out of the fire? It's Azim to the crease at number 3. Lamachani will enjoy bowling to the right-hander. Can they just create a mini collapse here? Stylish shot to start with. Not out of the middle of the bat, but we'll pick up a couple to get off the mark.
Just opening the face against the spin of Roy Porter's off spin. Over extra cover. Didn't time it as much as he's like, but a couple of runs to him. Opens his account with a double.
interesting that Powell stuck with himself as the slog sweep comes out and going to go all the way. You'd think the matchup will be in Azim's favour, and he immediately goes after Nepal's captain. That's an almighty blow. Nepal continue to be in trouble here.
And that's a bigger boundary as well, down to the pavilion.
Going to come round the wicket now. Good batting, mature batting. Takes a risk to get the boundary, gets the single, runs off every delivery of the 11th, and any momentum that Nepal had just before the drinks break has, well, disappeared. We've been very complimentary, haven't we, of Powell's bowling changes throughout the series. This one, keeping himself on, feels like a strange choice.
I think because of the new batter.
It will be an expensive over. 13 have come from it. Qatar going really well. They played exceptionally. 92 for 1 the score. You see the scale of the challenge there for Nepal. And the runworm of Qatar is soaring well up above that of Nepal. 9 wickets in hand, a fraction over a run of ball required. Yes, they've got 3 overs of Lamachani to get through, but get through those safely. And you would imagine that Qatar will be sensing a big upset. Would be really the second big upset of the tournament.
Zubair Ali has played a very mature innings, 25 of 29, when Lianagi was going very good, more than 130 his strike rate. He just rotated the strike, given the strike to Lianagi complementing each other.
Now slip comes into place. That's the skipper himself, Rohit Powell. What can Lamachani work against the right-hander? Good batting. Just opens the face to get it past Mala at cover. Nepal are being run ragged in the field the same way that Tapendra Singh Ari and Rohit Powell did in that 4th wicket partnership.
Very sensible batting by Azim. Just takes a single, rotating the strike, not giving the strike to himself against Sandeep Lamachani, the leg spinner, getting the left-hander on strike.
Goes the googly, finds the outside edge, but there's no slip in place for the left-hander. A nice delivery, but guided away, a little bit fortunately, by Ali for a couple.
I think there's something wrong with Ali. He's cramped up.
He looks in a spot of bother here, doesn't he? Rahul Asher asks for the ball. The physio will come on. And potentially the break in play might just favour Nepal. Gives them something, some opportunity to get everyone in together. I think if I was Rohit Powell here, I'd call all 11 fielders in and try and say, we've got to change our style of play. We've got to get ourselves back into the game. We've got to drag Qatar into the chaos.
And look at the batting card there. Lianagi, the top scoring of 56 of 35, whereas Zubair Ali, 27 of 30, he's waited there. He's given strike to Lianagi, a very good partnership, the opening one. And Mohammad Azim, he hit a big 6 against Rohit Powell to move to 10 of 4. That quadrate, slightly above 6. 52 more required for Qatar for a victory.
Yeah, if Qatar can get over the line here, well, it just blows the whole thing wide open. I'd expect no less either. We thought there'd be upsets in this Super 6 stage. Do not expect these 3 spots to come comfortably. Even for Oman, you look at them, they've scrambled over the line in 2 of those 3 wins that have counted here in the Super 6, particularly against the UAE today. Highest ranked side in the competition are in real trouble. The United Arab Emirates, they're almost certainly going to have to win their last 2 to have a chance of going through. And then for Japan, that big win over Samoa, they'll be thinking, get us 2 more wins, get us into the mix, give us a chance of booking our plane tickets for a first ever World Cup appearance at any senior level. They have been to a 19s World Cup, won before. They'll go to their second in January. Qatar win this, well, you can almost throw the permutations out the window. Anything could happen from there.
Yes, the table will be wide open then. A bit of a work done by the physio for Zubair Ali. He's on his feet. Where are the wickets coming for Nepal?
For me, they just don't quite have that same squeeze that they usually apply in the field. It'd be fascinating to see at the end of the game as to how much dew is out there and how big a factor that has been. But even the 4 men in the circle, not quite as tight in as they'd usually be. Oh, that's so nearly as chopped on. Was the googly yet again? I think Ali's picked it, but he just couldn't react quickly enough to it.
The injury that he's had in his legs, he's just limping around, almost ricocheting into the stumps. This is good bowling by Lamichan. He's already taken a wicket.
Slug swept out towards the deep backward square fielder who juggles it and keeps it to a single. Sampal Khan, he was never quite carrying to him. There's other evenings, like during that Unity Cup, where you could barely see grass in the outfield because you felt that every time the ball was going up in the air or they were looking for a single, there'd be a Nepal fielder sprinting towards it. Today, oh, maybe it's an optical illusion. It looks like there's much more space all of a sudden. Don't quite have the same presence out there. Big question for me is who's going to bowl the next over? Lamachani compels and pleads with his captain to get a slip in, so Powdell relents and goes into first slip. Nazim started brightly though, 10 off 4. Keep your eyes on a potential googly here, I reckon. Goes with a googly. Oh, that's got to be gone. And it's Lamachani again. Off he goes. He's pumped up. It was a little decoy getting the captain into slip to make us seem expect the leg break. But the double bluff was so well worked. He goes with the googly. I think like a leggy too. I thought that's what was coming. And he traps him dead in front.
Yeah, it was a double bluff, like what Shen Wan used to do, playing mind games with the batsman, telling Roy Polar to come to slips and bowling a googly and getting the batsman right in front of the stumps.
It was an exceptional piece of bowling. As good a googly as you'll see. Not picked by Azim. He's gone for 10. Well, Nepal, can they drag Qatar into the chaos, into the madness? Not again. Surely not again. We can't have another thriller again, can we? Or can we? Qatar have lost their second. And I'll tell you something, I don't know how they do it, but they keep finding a way to create chaos and carnage. And just drag the opposition into the mire. This was all about the excellence of Sandeep Lamachani, this second delivery. And this second wicket, the final of the over. And Nepal's 12th player are trying to bring themselves into the contest. They're having a great time up there. The Himalayan flag is flying proudly. But Nepal are still left with it all to do. It's going to be Mohamed Adil Alam to bowl the 13th. The one change in the team for the entire series, the entire competition. He played the same 11 for the first 3 games. Can he do what he did against the West Indies with 4 wickets? Plenty of slower balls, lots of cutters you'd expect. And he'll probably try and do what Daniel Archer did so well for Qatar.
Mohammad Adil Alam, he can bowl those cutters, slower balls, cutter into the wicket. He can be sharp as well, but mind you, you have to be back of the length. That is the length when the ball is staying low.
Yeah, that's right on the money. I just expect he would bowl there throughout. They're going to take on the second. Yadav has a good arm. Oh, might have made it interesting given Zubair Ali is not moving fluently. They get home comfortably. Just don't know about the angle. I wonder, could he come around the wicket just to try and close off the little flick into the leg side?
The first ball that Alam bowled was an off-cutter into the legs.
Goes on pace and greeted with the straight bat. That's something Qatar have done well. They've generally played very straight. The 100 comes up. It's been a really good chase, this. Whatever happens from here, they've got themselves into a winning position. Can they hold their composure under the pressure? Can they avoid being dragged into an arm wrestle? The captain is just the man they'd love at the crease now. Initially listed at number 6, promotes himself up the order, takes the extra responsibility. Mirza Mohammed Beg.
And that is what a captain should do, and lead the team from the front. Again, this was a leg cutter bowled by Mohammad Adil Alam.
I know it would be a risk in terms of the fact there's a left-hander right there, but I think both Kushal Bertel and Kushal Malla have to be realistic options. I think for me, Mohammad Adil Alam will be a run container, but it's a run of ball required in essence. Going at 5 or 6 and over isn't really of any use. Nepal have to take wickets.
They have to get Qatar all out to win this match. They cannot contain Qatar to win the game.
Goes with the off-cutter. Oh, direct hit. Would have made it. Very interesting. It's Bowdle himself, picked up cleanly. And for my money, I think the skipper could have run the other one out. What a marvellous piece of fielding. Swift to the ball. Probably the stump and a half to aim at, but couldn't hit.
He was out.
And a smile from Rahul Asher, because I'll promise you something. All these umpires, they review at the end of each evening. They sit with their match referees, Hamim Talwar and Kent Annam, and they discuss play, they discuss cricket. It's exactly what all good match officials do. And they'll have been discussing how quick Nepal are in the field. So a wry smile on the face of Rahul Asher, because I think he was suggesting that if it had been a direct hit, that it would have been his right index finger going up and it would have been given out.
Under the circumstances, this is a pretty well bowled over by Alam. 6 runs given away, 4 singles and 2 runs.
Nicely driven. Should be a couple here. It's gone a long way to the right of Sandeep Jora, who had such a good night last night in the field. Too easy for me. Off Adil Alam, 8 runs come from it. Good batting from Qatar, 105 for 2. Well, fascinating choice, this one. I'm not going to continue with Sandeep Lamachani, not going to go to Bertel or Malla, who we were speculating about as being potential wicket-taking options. He's instead going to back his young fast bowler, his tear-away quick, probably alongside Kami, the quickest in the side, to get him the 3rd wicket. Big risk, this one. We've seen pace on the ball be manipulated quite comfortably by both sides. So Nandan Yadav, what can he find? Careful up there on the top tier. Some of the fans clinging on for dear life. Cardiac kids pushing them to the edge of their seats. Direct hit from Irie, gone. It's 4 in 4 games. There's 2 rules. You don't run one to him. The second part of the rule, you listen to the first part. It's that simple. A suicidal single, there was never one there. And for the 4th time in 4 matches, Dipender Singh Airi does it again.
He was on the back foot. This was one too many quick singles that they'd taken. The 2 batters, easy decision for the umpire to make. Dipender Singh Airi, like you said, Lenny, 4 out of 4 in 4 games, a direct hit. It's going to be the captain who has to depart. Mirza Mohammad Baig, gone for 2.
Unbelievable. I do not ever remember a streak of one fielder affecting 4 direct hit runouts of such quality in 4 consecutive matches. It's freakish. The Tiger is a phenomenon. Have a look at this. There was never a one-on to any fielder, but to Airi, it's suicide. He's run out, well, by how far? He's not even in the frame. And Airi doesn't give it the big celebration. We'll get the big one if he gets another, particularly if he can run out Zubair Ali. Mohamed Tanvir comes to the crease with all his experience. Qatar are looking forlornly and going, look at the coaching staff in the background. They're saying, we clearly said, don't run one to Airi. And it was straight at him.
They were actually judging a run very carefully and very nicely before this. One too many.
Couldn't agree more. That they'd done it so well throughout the innings, throughout the chase. And I don't know how Nepal do it. They just almost force their opposition into the mire, into the madness, into the surreality of the cardiac kid battle. This one's chipped in the air, another run-out chance, direct hit gone, it's 2 and 2, you won't believe it, this time Mohamed Alam. Tanvir's run out without facing a ball, and Nepal are at it again. This one's even better, just one stump to aim at. How do they keep doing it? They've gone deep to the well this time, it's 2 consecutive run-outs. They won the game last night against the UAE with 3 wickets and 3 balls. Now it's 2 and 2 against Qatar.
This is unbelievable. Played it wide off the fielder there, Mohammad Alam. Dipender Singh Airi, look at him in the background. Mohammad Adil Alam says, you can hit, I can hit too.
Unbelievable. True, you used the perfect word, Paresh. What exactly was Tanvir thinking? Maybe he got a call of yes from Zubair Ali of some kind. He's gone, run out without facing a ball by another direct hit. Nepal's world-class fielding is the only thing keeping them in this position that they have any hope of making it a 4th consecutive win. Being honest, the fielding really was the only thing that gave them probably 2 of their 3 wins thus far. Remarkable cricket, it's sensational to watch, it really is. You can't take your eyes off these men, and it will bring Shahzaid Jamil to the crease. I've never seen a hat-trick of run-outs before. Paresh, are we going to see it here?
I think Zubair Ali will not run at all this ball.
Hat-trick fielding ball. No, both stay deep in their crease. Dot ball it is. Oh, brilliant cricket. So good to watch, Paresh, isn't it? You can see why they're winning fans over all over the world.
The first run out by Dipender Singh Airi, the 4th one in 4 games for him. And the second one, Mohammad Adil Alam, feeling at short mid.
Now there's a bit of wisdom. A slower ball perfectly affected. And we're seeing exactly what you need to do on this surface. Take the pace off.
And the off-cutter just turning away from the left-hander like an off-spinner.
Well, if Nepal make it to that World Cup in India and Sri Lanka, I'm not sure how much of it will be because of their batting and their bowling. They will have the 3rd discipline to thank for it. Superb support by the 12th player again. The Qatar just need to reset. They should still control this chase. They should still get there. They only need 43 more. It's only a required run rate, even with a couple of dots here, of 7 and over. Change in the field. Deep mid-wicket goes out. Long off comes into the circle. Goes pace on. Driven to Ja, who does the fielding. Sensational fielding. Paresh, we're not being hyperbolic here. This is of the highest quality you'll see at any level of the game.
That is what we've seen for the last a week or so. Dipender Singh Airi creating runouts, creating those chances. That is why all the fielders of Nepal, they are on their toes.
I saw an interview with I actually can't remember who it was overnight. Somebody talking about how Dipender Singh Airi just lifts everyone up all around him. How Stuart Law's heart rate, God only knows. Did he know what he was getting himself into coming to coach Nepal, I wonder? Guided straight to the man. It's 2 wickets, both run-outs, and 1 run from the 14th over. The game somehow is back in the balance. Qatar need 42 more. It's 106 for 4. Now, Nepal often use 7, sometimes 8 bowlers. They've already turned to 7. We won't see any more of Rohit Paudel, that's for certain. Where is he going to plot these final 6 overs from? Lamachani's a banker to bowl 2 of them. Who bowls the other 4?
It will definitely be an over from Dipender Singh Airi. And Nandan Jha only gave away a single and 2 runs and 2 wickets in that over, both being run-outs. I think Nandan Yadav can bowl 2 more.
If he's going to bowl 2 more, he's got to go pace off, as does Adil Alam here. He's going to continue for the moment. It is an off-cutter. They're going to take on Paudel. Direct hit would have been close. I think maybe just home this time. I think if that's Airi, it's a chance. Paudel's quick, but he's not quite as quick as Dipender Singh Airi. And Lamachani asks, Rahul Asher, would it have been out?
Again, they are not learning. Again, running when the ball is straight to the fielder's hand.
Would have been home. This time he would have been home. Just did enough, didn't he, Jamil? It was a bit frenetic, a bit frantic. Suhaib Ali has already been involved. And Zubair Ali even has been involved in 2 run-outs, doesn't want to be involved in a 3rd. Leg cutter, chipped just out of the reach of Paudel. Don't think it quite carried.
Failed effort by Rohit Paudel, the captain, diving to his left. Couldn't get to the ball. It was clever bowling by Adil Alam, a slower ball that created an edge. Qatar somehow digging the hole and trying to bury themselves after having such a good start.
And speculation online for direct hit run-outs in 4 T20I games. That has to be a world record, does it? It could well be. It's probably a difficult stat to cross-check because when you see a run-out in a modern scorecard, you won't necessarily be able to tell if it's a direct hit, depending upon how they keep those scores. Squeezed to Airi, and a brilliant moment where both batters look at each other and look at the fielder and say, no run there.
It's not that only he feels well, he enjoys fielding, he enjoys the time in the field. Dipender Singh Airi
Brings a beautiful joy de vivre to the game, doesn't he, and everything he does. And I cannot explain as the off-cutters help towards the man. Oh, just over his head, Paudel. It's a good shot from Zubair Ali. His heart will have been in his mouth for just a moment because it was the pace-off, but Qatar's bench back on their feet. They still believe. They still hold the aces in this chase, Paresh.
coming down the track, it was a paced-off delivery into the pitch. Went through with his shot. Rohit Paudel couldn't get to it. It was high up in the air. Caught the distance as well.
Out is one of the signs of the ground there. We need plenty more outs here. Zubair Ali is still there in the 20th and final. I think Qatar win this game. There's no question about that. He's played the anchor innings, played very nicely. He's taking a liking into the medium pace of Mohamed Adil Alam. Jora will have to slide to keep that to 2. Don't think this is the right option. I think they've underbowled the spinners here. Paresh and Nepal getting themselves into a mess despite those 2 amazing runouts.
Sandeep Lamichhane has 2 more overs under his belt. It's not that Adil Alam has bowled bad. He's bowled well. He's used those variations, those cutters into the wicket.
That's for the Yorker this time, but it's worked away very nicely. Probably was time for the second, but Ali just fatiguing a touch, so he's happy to keep the strike. Good over for Qatar. Great fight back led by Zubair Ali. 5 remain. Qatar 117 for 4. Qatar are in control of this chase. The runworm might indicate real closeness, even though Qatar are ahead, but you have to remember that it was a pretty tame finish. They only made 35 off the last 5 overs, Nepal. And about 7 and over. They had a good position, they just couldn't get anything going at the death. As Ishiju Sam is watching over the 2 batters like a school teacher, ensuring they don't take too long with the extra liquids they're being allowed. And Sandeep Lamichhane, he's going to return. He's got 2 overs left. They are going to be critical. Can he get the big one of Zubair Ali to give Nepal some hope? If they keep Lamichhane to 2, for Qatar should win. 31 more required. 5 overs to do it.
Starts off with a googly to the left-hander. Sandeep Lamichhane, apart from the 3 games that he played earlier, this one is a much better one in terms of the first 2 overs.
Just wonder, could Powdell gamble a little, get another man up into the circle? Cut away. Jazz got a lot of work to do out there. He'll prevent the boundary, won't stop the second. Could you bring mid-off up? Could you get the man at short third into slip?
That is the gamble I think Rohit Paudel should take. 29 of 28 required for Qatar for a victory.
Googly well picked and well wide of Irie, so a comfortable single this time. He's really played maturely here, Zubair Ali, the benefit of getting a guy who's debuting well into his 30s.
48 of 48, the innings that he played against Malaysia was a good one. Before that, he was out without a ball faced.
Yeah, player of the match, I'll tell you something, if he ends up not out here, you'd have to think he'll be the one that will receive the award again. Could be 2 player of the matches in his first 4 T20Is. Slip comes into play, that's Kushal Bertel. Nobody in front of square on the leg side in the ring. And that's exactly where Jamil will go. Mid-wicket's got to come up there. They need to run a ball. For the right-hander, you've got to apply some pressure. Can't just allow him that get-out shots.
Yeah, you keep a slip for the right-hander and get that deep mid-wicket fielder inside the 30-yard circle. Just put pressure on the batsman, the newcomer. He just faced 3 balls.
Goes with the googly. It goes a long way into the air. Adil Alam goes back, but it's going to fall. Well, agonisingly out of his reach. Kami was coming in. It always felt like it was going to fall out of reach. Doesn't get back for the second, so moves to 49. He's really starting to struggle. Bit of fatigue, probably a bit of cramp as well.
And on the googly bowled by Sandeep Lamichhane on the leg stump, ball turning away from the left-hander. That is why it was a top edge. Adil Alam running back, couldn't get to the ball. Just a single though.
Some effort to make it 250s in his first 4 innings. Played really well, Zubair Ali. Deserves his success. All he needs is a bit of support from someone. Googly got him. Lamichhane's got a 3rd. Nepal continue to believe, but till they get Ali, Qatar will be comfortable. It's another twist in this contest. We've seen so many throughout the entire tournament. Fans are happy, but still nervy.
Googly a bit flattered through the air. The batsman couldn't do much. Misread the googly, went to the back foot, tried to cut that ball coming into the body. Completely missed it and bowled the third for Sandeep Lamishani. 5 runs and a wicket in this over. It's 122 for 5.
Four overs left. Required run rate is holding no real threats, but Nepal are continuing to fight and scrap, predominantly thanks to their star leg spinner, Sandeep Lamishani, who's got 3 wickets to his name on a night in which he has crossed 250 international wickets across the 2 formats, becoming the first Nepali bowler to get to that landmark. He's bowled really well. It was a rather ineffective shot going deep on the crease. Nandan Yadav's going to bowl his third, the 17th. Rohit Patel putting a lot of faith in the death bowling skills of the youngster. I think you expect a lot of off-cutters here as Ali stands on the brink of a second 50 in 4 innings. Crucial moments of the game, these ones. It's going to be 50 and a very well accumulated one for Zubair Ali. It's a second T20I 50 to go alongside that 65 not out he made against Malaysia. And he's played ever so well. A deathly silence falls across the crowd as he just gets a bit of a punch of the gloves and a small acknowledgement of his teammates.
Very well compiled 50 by Zubair Ali. 50 of 50 deliveries. He stayed there opening the batting with Lianagi, a very good opening stand.
You have to think for some of the Qatar players, a little bit like we heard from Japan just a few nights ago, that this would be the biggest crowd they've ever played in front of. So there's that factor as well. The fans are giving their absolute all to try and drag it back for Nepal. This is surely going to be given on the back foot, and it's a slow finger of death from Shiju Sam. None of the Qatar middle order are giving Zubair Ali the support he needs. And somehow, Nepal's fans are starting to believe it's Nandan Yadav's first. That was crashing into middle and leg. Nepal at it again.
It was a pace-on delivery by Nandan Yadav, hitting the back foot. I think the ball stayed a bit low, trying to play across the line. 6th wicket down. The cardiac kids
at it again. And for almost the entirety of this second innings, it didn't look just improbable, it looked implausible. It's 123 for 6. Well, you cannot take your eyes off this tournament. You can't take your eyes off the associate game, and you certainly can't take your eyes off the cardiac kids Nepal. They have no right to be in any position to be even considering a third win in the Super 6 stages. They've been outplayed for the majority of this second innings, but they've just hung around. Here comes another left-hander, Daniel Archer to the crease. He beats the outside edge, goes pace on, maybe the under edge. More than a few, just skidding and keeping low now. What are we witnessing here, Paresh Lahani?
We cannot handle this back-to-back close encounters. cardiac hits.
We can't handle it. My pulse, my heart rate can't handle it. My health insurance can't handle it. They're going to send me to an early grave, these cardiac kids, I'll tell you. You ride the wave of emotions with them. You never know what's going to happen. 25 runs required to win, 21 balls to do it. Right on the money. They'll scamper a single. Irie gets the diving stop outs. How does Zubair Ali approach it now he's got to the landmark 50? Does he try to kick on, look for a few boundaries, or does he rely upon someone, maybe Daniel Archer, to give him some support with the bats?
He needs support because he's been batting there since the beginning of the innings. He's 50 of 50. He's batted there for the 17th over. 24 more required of 20. It's actually easily doable for Qatar if they stay strong, if they have their nerves. It's all about Zubair Ali.
Oh, big swing and a miss. Beautiful piece of bowling. It was the off-cutter, just died in the surface. You have to give credit to Nandan Yadav. It was a very poor first over, but he's learned, hasn't he? 16 he went for in the first. What a fight back.
Yes, the cutter into the wicket, back of the length. The ball is just staying a bit low. It went under the bat, trying to heave that down to mid-wicket. Zubair Ali, just 2 runs and a wicket in this over.
All of a sudden, that required run rate is somehow in excess of the current run rate. And it's going to exceed it again. It's for the first time, really, since I think the 3rd or 4th over. Nandan Yadav mixing it up nicely, on pace, off pace. This one, full throttle. And it means that Nepal have life, they have hope with 3 to go. It's 124 for 6. Which one's good? There's the batting card. Look at the collapse. Nobody, despite Mohammad Azim's good start, is giving Zubair Ali any support. 2-0 in the middle order.
Yeah, 56 for Lianagi and 50 not out for Zubair Ali. After that, the highest third batter was 10. That was Asim.
Interesting move, this one. Henderson is going to bowl the 18th. And imagine that might mean that Sandeep Lamachani will bowl the 19th, and maybe Nandan Yadav the 20th. 2 left-handers at the crease. What can I reproduce tonight? It was his heroics last night that squeezed Nepal over the line.
Bender Singh Ivy again creating a run out. So did Mohammad Adil Alam. Direct hits, back-to-back wickets.
Speared into the block hole. Adil Alam fields swiftly, but they'll have plenty of time to get the single.
And this is what these 2 batters should do. Just take singles. Don't get nervy. Just stay there. Zubair Ali is there playing on 51.
Darted in again. Like the angle, like the lines and lengths. Sorry, applying pressure. Singles for the moment, not enough for Qatar. Have to find a boundary or 2 in probably the 18th or the 19th.
21 more required, 15. 4 wickets in hand for Qatar. As well said, batsman Zubair Ali in strike.
Pumped into the leg side. Kushal Patel out there, not quite going to carry. Thought he was in the game for a moment. Nervy moments these, Paresh.
This is the last over of Dipender Singh Ivy. 20 runs given away in 3.4. Out! That's bowled him!
It's Irie again. He strikes again. He did it last night. He's back at it. In the field with the ball. Nepal have 7. They only need 3 on Zubair Ali. Well, nobody can stay with them, Paresh. It's been a surreal chase. It really has. The entirety of this Qatar middle order is being blitzed away. The two openers both have 50. Yadav to bowl one of them, Lamachani the other. In which order?
It's going to be Sandeep Lamachani to bowl the penultimate over, and then Nanandiyadav the last.
You'd go those two?
Yes.
Okay, I think I'm with you on the two bowlers. I just think that we might go with the other order. Or Rowan Powell might go with the other order. That should be. So it could well be Lamachani to bowl the 20th and final. I'm not sure who writes his scripts. Remember, he has done it, of course, before. Has bowled the super over, did that in the Nepal Premier League last year. Did it against Oman too. It's a hero or villain role. The big question is, what can Nandan Yadav give Lamachani to defend in the final over? It's 20 required, 19 for the super over. All sorts of drama, again here in Muscat. As we have seen, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 cracking, unforgettable encounters in 2 days.
Actually, it depends upon this over. How many runs does Nandan Yadav give away?
Goes off the top edge into the sky. Gulshan Jah comes around. He holds on.
Subscribe channel लाई गरिदिनु होला सबैले दबाएर आज नेपालले जित्ने छ पक्कै पनि सबैले यो च्यानललाई सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिनु होला नेपाल हाय 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 सब्स्क्राइब च्यानललाई जतिले हेरिराख्नु भएको छ
Zubair Ali. It was a cutter bowled into the pitch by Nandan Yadav. A smart catch taken by Gulshan Jah into the deep. 8 wickets down for Qatar. They still have to do a lot of things there. 20 runs more required.
It's yet another incredible game. Look at how pumped up Gulshan Jah is.
नेपालले जित्ने भएको छ अब पक्कै पनि सबैले यो च्यानललाई सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिनु होला जति पनि हेर्ने महानुभावहरु हुनुहुन्छ सबैजनाले प्लिज सब्स्क्राइब च्यानल अर्को म्याच हेर्नलाई सब्स्क्राइब गर्नु होला पक्कै पनि यो च्यानललाई अर्को चोटी पनि ल्याउने नै छु अवश्य तपाईहरु माझ लाइभ
Here comes Nandan Yadav. Guided away for a single.
खै त लायकै आएन त पुरै लायक दबाएर हान्दिनु त सबैले नेपालले जितिरहेको छ 342 वटा लाइक हुनु पर्यो है सबैले लाइक हान्दिनु पर्यो यो च्यानललाई लाइक सब्स्क्राइब कमेन्ट गरिदिनु पर्यो जय नेपाल यसको खुशियालीमा सबैले लाइक हान्नु पर्यो है च्यानललाई
Can he find redemption? He's been so brilliant.
खै त लाइकै आएन खै त सब्स्क्राइब आएन
Can he find the redemption with the bat? Deep third's going to go back, so too will deep mid wicket. That means mid off will have to come up into the circle. 2 in the deep on the offside.
यति लोभी त छैन हो नेपालीहरु सबैले लाइक सब्स्क्राइब हान्दिनु पर्यो च्यानललाई है पक्कै पनि जित्ने छ नेपालले जय नेपाल
Got a good bumper. Wonder will he go to the off cutter or to the pace on ball? Oh, that's going to be a wide. Just losing his radar. Was probably looking for the full wide Yorker. Only a good pace here, Paresh. This is as quick as you'll see in Nepal colours.
He's mixing his pace. Nandan Yadav, especially to Zubair Ali when he was well set, playing on 50. He bowled cutters, pace on deliveries, cutters.
सबैले खै त कमेन्ट हानेको जय नेपाल भनेर खै त सबैजनाले हान्दिनुस् त जय नेपाल भनेर लाइक सब्स्क्राइब च्यानललाई
Qatar very much can still get there. 18 to win off 14 balls. Within the compass, absolutely.
खै यति नै हो खै त दबाएर हान्नु पर्यो नि जय नेपाल भनेर out.
Another wide. Drama continues to fill the Al Emirat venue. Tension everywhere, Paresh.
This is well done by Mujibur Rahman coming into the off stump, covering his stumps. Nandan Yadav had to bowl into the body, but was straying down to the leg side. Back-to-back wides.
हान्नु पर्यो सबैले आउट 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 भनेर पक्कै पनि खै त लाइकै आएन सब्सक्राइब गर्नु भएको छैन कसैले सब्सक्राइब हान्नु पर्यो भकाभक च्यानललाई अर्कोचोटि हेर्नलाई पनि यही च्यानलबाट पक्कै पनि लाइभ आउने नै छु आउट आउट
Game on still here in Muscat. Do not rule Qatar out. They now only need 13 to win.
Again, straying to the leg side. Nandan Yadav nicely helped away. The 5-leg fielder was inside the circle. Sompal Kami went over his head. Again, the game shifting towards Qatar. More required of 9 balls. 2 wickets in hand.
Top ball, crucial top ball. They needed that, Nepal.
Yeah, 13 required of 8. There were 2 wides, back-to-back wides by Nandan Yadav and a boundary scored by Mujibur Rahman. The ball straying down to the leg side, helped it away over the short fine fielder for a boundary.
सबैले लेख्नु पर्यो आउट आउट भनेर है सबैजना
takes a wicket here. It'll be very interesting. Again, shifts to Nepal.
13 to win off 8. Stage is set yet again for another climatic finish. Otherwise, nerves kicking in. Yadav chastises himself. He knows he's not helping Lamachani in the 20th and final over of the innings.
The 3rd wide of the over, along to go with that boundary.
Got to go to the off-cutters, you would think. Round the wicket, off cutter. Likely one of the batters just scoops it up into the air. They're threatened by the pace, always a tail ender, so they'll tend to be through their shot too early. Powell looks to change things, looks to slow things down, looks to change the plan. Cannot remember a sequence of 4 such fantastic games of cricket. It all got going with El Clasico, then we saw Japan take on Samoa in a thriller. Oman versus UAE today was marvellous, and this, it could be the best of the lot. 12 to win now, 8 balls to do it. Guided away, can they get back for 2? Oh, it's misfielded. It's going to be costly. Lokesh Bam on as a sub-fielder. Didn't even know he was on the field. Or who's gone off might be, I'm not sure who's off right now. When the sub-fielder comes on, we're just trying to track who is off the field right now. And a costly misfield. Usually keeps wicket, but is a fine outfielder himself. Could be Goshen Jazz out a deep backward square. We'll get a check.
Out.
7 balls left. Chipped up into the air. Lands short. And it's going to be an even 10 to win off the final over. Sandeep Lamachani looks certain to bowl it. As I said, I don't know who writes his scripts. Qatar, 138 for 8.
ल है सबैले च्यानललाई लाइक सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिनु
Look at the worm here. The run worm of Qatar just slipping down below the Nepal worm. Run worm. Now
खै
it's a
त
good
कमेन्ट आएन
thing
त
for Sandeep Lamichhane. There's a right-hander on strike.
खै त लाइक आएन सब्सक्राइब आएन खै त ल हान्दिउँ त भकाभक
Here we are yet again.
किन
Another
डराउने
all-time classic in the brewing, Paresh. Lamichhane comes and has a word with the
खै
vice
त लेख्नु
captain,
न
Ender
तपाईँहरू
Singh.
सबैले लेखेर
Which
हान्नु
way is it
पर्यो
going
नि
to go?
जय नेपाल भनेर
Associate cricket
सन्दीप
is the
लामिछाने
gift
हाय
that
हाय
just
हाय
keeps
लेख्नु पर्यो
giving. These pathway events are the gift that keeps giving. All three results possible. 10 to win, 9 for the super over, 2 wickets for Nepal. Lamichhane starts with a leg
Out.
break. Big swing and a miss. Brave piece of bowling. Crucial dot ball to begin with.
A bit slower through the air, Sandeep Lamichhane bowling in outside the off stump. It was very, very slow through the wicket. Early, the batsman there trying to heave that down to
खै
mid-wicket.
त लाइक हान्नु पर्यो च्यानललाई सब्सक्राइब हान्नु पर्यो
Again, a big swing and a miss again. Consecutive dot balls. Sticking with his leg break, trusting his leg break, not looking for the wickets, looking for crucial dots. Brilliant bowling.
Not bowling quick, he's slowing the pace of the ball, trying to reverse hit it.
Goes to the leg break, too good. Lamichhane is the star tonight for Nepal. They're within touching distance now. It's a 4th wicket for him.
ल ल
Asif Sheikh did the formalities, but Farouk, well, simply was outthought.
ल है नेपालले जित्यो खै त जय नेपाल हानेको खै सबले च्यानललाई सब्सक्राइब हानिदिनुहोस् ल ल जय नेपाल लेख्नु पर्यो सबैले खै त लेखेको
In the Super 6.
Excellent bowling by Sandeep Lamichhane. Slow through the air, 3 leg spinners on the trot. The big turn and Asif Sheikh doing the rest. The batsman was way out
ल
of
ल
the
जय
crease.
नेपाल
Coming down the track.
खै त आएन त जय नेपाल खै
Easy work for Asif Sheikh. 9th wicket down for Qatar.
Whipped the bails off with sheer elation. There's going to be 10 required, but only 3 balls to do it. And number 11 has come to the crease. Remember, this is a chase that for the vast majority.
लाइक खै त लाइकै आएन 100 करसै भएन लाइक 100 करस त गर्नु पर्यो लाइक
79 for none with 1 ball to go before drinks. Lamichhane struck then to get the big wicket of Leonagi. If he gets one more, he'll have a 5-wicket haul to his name, and wouldn't he deserve it? Sensational bowling. He has dragged his nation back into this contest. Can he close it out? Should be a single. It will be no more as Jad does the fielding. The equation ever so difficult. 9 to win off 2. 2 boundary fours sends us to the super over. Mujibur Rahman to win it. He's going to have to find a maximum.
It's going to be
दुई बल मा
4 good deliveries, 2 dots and a wicket
दुई बल
and a single. 9 runs required of 2.
खै जय नेपाल लेख्यो खै त
Has to be a
सबैले
maximum.
हान्दिनु पर्यो जय नेपाल
I think he can go as slow as he would like. Here he comes. Hit back towards him. Hit down the ground. Oh, crucial stop. It's Jura who does it again. He was the hero in the field last night, and once more he's at his very best. The equation is simple. It's 6 or bust for Qatar.
लास्ट बल
They
लास्ट
must
बल
hit a
लास्ट बल
maximum, and if they do, we're off to the super over.
Sandeep Lamichhane just going to his left. Beautiful fielding by Sundeep Zora. Got very good stop, diving one down to long.
लास्ट बल जय नेपाल लेख्नु पर्यो सबैले जय नेपाल खै हान्नु पर्यो जय नेपाल सब्सक्राइब च्यानललाई सब्सक्राइब हानिदिनु पर्यो है सबैले लाइक हानेको खै त अब लास्ट बल
He has called the captain and vice captain
लास्ट बल
to come and have a discussion with them. Amazing to see the faith that he's showing in his 2 leaders. He's asking them, where do I go? What do you want me to do? What's the best delivery? Asif Sheikh also comes over with a word of advice. So too.
खै त लाइक हानेको सबैले लाइक हान्नु पर्यो
You
च्यानललाई
have to love associate cricket. There is never a dull moment.
यो च्यानललाई सब्सक्राइब गर्न नबिर्सिनु होला अर्कोचोटि पनि लाइभ ल्याएर आउनु नै छु तपाईँहरूमा
On the brink, 1 good delivery gives them a 3rd win. Would get them within touching distance.
अर्कोचोटि पनि हेर्नलाई भिडियोहरू लाइभहरू हेर्नलाई यो च्यानललाई सब्सक्राइब गरिदिनु होला
Can Lamichhane hold his nerve?
लास्ट बल
Here he comes. Final ball of the match.
आओ विन नेपाल ल सब्सक्राइब सबैले च्यानललाई खै त जय नेपाल लेखेको ल लास्टचोटि जय नेपाल लेखेको खै त आयो नि त कमेन्ट जय नेपाल खै त जय नेपाल लेखेको खै जय नेपाल कङ्ग्रेचुलेसन नेपाल लेख्नु पर्यो सबैले खै त सबैले 307 जना हेर्दै हुनुहुन्छ लाइभलाई खै त आएकै छैन ल भक्काभक च्यानललाई पनि सब्सक्राइब अनि लाइक खै त लाइकै बढेन खै त यत्रो नेपालले जितिराख यत्रो उभिराख खै त यसको उपलक्ष्यमा लाइक साइक केही छैन लाइभ साइभ हान्नु पर्यो लाइक हान्नु पर्यो सबैले लाइक च्यानललाई सब्सक्राइब अर्कोचोटि हेर्नलाई च्यानललाई सब्सक्राइब सबैजनाले लाइक सब्सक्राइब च्यानललाई सब्सक्राइब गरिदिनु होला अर्कोचोटि हेर्नलाई अर्कोचोटि पनि ल्याएर आउने छु तपाईहरुमाझ
How did Qatar lose this game? It's all a mystery for me and Lenny. This is the batting card. The openers scoring 50s, 56 for Lianage and Zubair Ali getting 52. Apart from those, none of the batters doing good. The third batter into double figures was Mohammad Asim, 10 of 5. And look at the bowling card. Sandeep Lamichhane taking his fifer. Dipender Singh Aire, a wicket for him. Nandan Yadav coming back to his second spin and bowling very well. 2 wickets for him. And look at Sandeep
जय नेपाल सबै जतिजना हेर्नुहुन्छ 233 का 30 जनाले पुरै जय नेपाल लेखेर हान्दिनु पर्यो है यो च्यानललाई नि सब्स्क्राइब पनि गरिदिनु पर्यो पुरैले अर्कोचोटि पनि ल्याएर आउने नै छु यस्तै भिडियो आजको लागि यति नै हस्त धन्यवाद जय नेपाल सबैले यो च्यानललाई लाइक सब्स्क्राइब कमेन्ट गरिदिनु होला अर्कोचोटि तपाईहरुमाझ ल्याएर आउने नै छु अर्कोचोटिको म्याचलाई पनि तबसम्म हस्त धन्यवाद जय नेपाल
Zubair Ali had that partnership 56 and 52 respectively for them. Sandeep Lamichhane 5 for 18 in 3.5 and Nandan Yadav taking 2. Dipender Singh Aire. And let's look the good part of the highlights of the second innings. It all started